The economic case for the EU is incredibly weak. In fact, if you look at what's happening in the EU, it is totally unfit for the challenges that exist today. It has failed to actually develop British exports. Statistics show that British trade has been harmed by the single market. But we do want to continue trading across Europe. And let's be clear that when we vote leave, there is a free trade zone that exists from Iceland all the way down to Turkey. We are the fifth biggest economy. The idea that the Germans wouldn't want to sell us their cars, the Italians wouldn't want to sell us their textile products, the French wouldn't want to sell them our wine, when a huge trade deficit exists that means that we buy more of their goods than they buy of us. In fact, we are the EU's single largest market. The idea that after we vote leave that there wouldn't be a huge, overwhelming incentive for that trade deal to be struck is madness. You know that on the 23rd of June, that when Britain votes to leave, the reality will change the following day. They might want to scare us into staying in the EU at the moment, but the following day, trade, the most important thing to EU nations, will kick in. So the idea that our economy would be harmed is just madness. Yes, there are some big businesses, absolutely, who think we should vote Remain. Many of the people who used to tell us that we should join the euro, or otherwise jobs would be lost, it would be a disaster, they're the same people who are making the same arguments about the EU referendum today. They were wrong then, and they are wrong now. I think it's actually better if we take back control of our economy, so we can ease the burden of regulation which sometimes hits small businesses, the kind of businesses who can't afford to lobby in Brussels, who don't have the paid lobbyists who stalk the corridors of power there. We also can make sure that businesses which are being put out of business or never created, that they can flourish. We're in a globalised economy, and the problem is the EU has turned out to be protectionist. It hasn't helped trade within the EU, and worse still, as a share of GDP in the world and the share of world trade, it is declining. It is a bloc which is out of touch and out of date. If we vote leave, we can continue to trade with our European partners. We can be part of that free trade zone. But we can do that free trade deal, which means that Britain has power to do its own trade deals. We are prevented from doing trade with emerging markets from across the world because we've left it in the hands of the EU. That means we have to put up with 28 member states squabbling over whether it be French film rights or Italian textile rights, or even the French agriculture, which means that Britain is prevented from doing business across the world. That's a bad situation for Britain, and I think it's one we have to solve if we vote leave.